We're live.
We did it. We made it. We made it to Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
I think that that's an accomplishment.
Yeah.
That's worth celebrating.
Mhm.
With the launch of an app.
Yep.
So we shall celebrate.
With WEquil juice.
Yes. We shall thanks. And then give everybody the scoop on FlutGo.
Yep.
So, how did this come about? Do you remember?
Yeah, I think we were thinking about, well, as we are like getting more contracts through WEquil Startups, we're thinking like how can we try to get the Flutter developers that have the skill set needed for that particular contract, because we don't want like expert Flutter developers who know backend, who are like who have a wide range of expertise working on a contract where basically all they're doing is like a couple buttons in UI. And so then we want to think about like the easiest way that we can outsource the right Flutter developers specifically like for certain contracts and be able to do that really easily. Since we do have a lot of people like showing interest and potentially like who are looking for work in Flutter, and we were thinking that this is a really good idea because although there are many websites where you can say like, hey, I'm looking for work, there's none specific to Flutter, and using proof by demonstration as a way to show that you have the skill set needed.
Yeah. No, well said. Yeah, that's exactly right. So yeah, two big differentiators is that we're really focused on Flutter developers because that's probably the majority of our projects coming through WEquil Startups. It's also a big focus within WEquil School. This is like our flagship classroom that Sumay's been doing for well over over a year and a half. I mean, basically since the pandemic started, teaching kids how to build Flutter apps. Tons of stuff all over our YouTube channel with her. I don't know how many hours of Flutter video do you think you have put together so far for that classroom?
Well, I also spent a lot of time writing out stuff in the Coda
Oh
curriculum.
yeah, that's
So
true.
that's a whole lot of time, but I don't have as many videos as like written out documentation.
Well,
Yeah.
tons and tons of material on Flutter, and of course our own WEquil.app is in Flutter. Runs on Google, backend Firebase. And so, we're attracting people that are doing Flutter, both kids like Abanov and adults like Martino and Paraz, who have also been helping with this project. And these two gentlemen in particular, Martino in Toga, Africa, and Paraz in India, have been on the phone with our team basically like every other day, if not every day, talking through the details of how do we create a proof by demonstration, essentially labor market. I mean, it is a labor market, although it's like a labor plus entrepreneurship market.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of these are going to end up being startups where, some folks might get paid in dollars or whatever, but then some folks may just want to jump on a project and be, co-founders on the same initiative, same project. That's actually what happened with FlutGo. And so that's pretty exciting. In terms of like what really differentiates the project, it's the focus on Flutter, but then also this proof by demonstration. And we've been talking through a number of ways to do that. But basically on LinkedIn, you can go in and say you have a skill even if you don't.
Yeah.
And you can find a friend who will write pretty much whatever, as long as they're willing, they can pretty much write whatever they want in terms of giving recommendations.
Or you can put a skill that you know but you're not very good at, and you don't really know whether or not that person is extremely good at the skill or if they're just
Yeah.
so.
We could show the problem by me writing flying as a skill, and then you coming on and be like, oh yeah, you should see my dad
Yeah.
on this broomstick. He's so good.
Yeah.
He's like a level 4 warlock.
Yeah.
And every night he'll just hop on that broom just to relax and just fly around. Amazing. Amazing. Right? And just be like, yeah, show me. Show me you doing that. Right? Yeah. So with this FlutGo, one of the key features of this is going to be a way to signal that you have a skill, and then come up with a module process, a standardized process where you can fairly easily and efficiently demonstrate that you have that skill. And that's the challenge.
Yeah. But the way that we were thinking about doing it is essentially the way that you would demonstrate that you know a skill is by teaching it through a video. Really like kind of short and simple, just like if you want to show that you know Flutter, here's like a 5-minute tutorial on like some basic things in Flutter, or maybe some complicated things in Flutter to show your depth of knowledge. We're still trying to work out some kind of like considerations, such as, well, you want to show that you have this super big pool of knowledge and skills in Flutter, but it'll be hard to fit that into like a really short tutorial, and if it's really long, then the people outsourcing work might not want to watch through all of that. But the point is, like, you can see the person and that they're actually applying their knowledge, and it's just like you can't really argue with that. Like, this person knows Flutter because they were literally teaching it. And then the other part to this is that then those videos can be put into classrooms for like kids learning Flutter within our Flutter classroom. They can see those videos, can then be put into the classrooms. So it's kind of it's I think it's a really like unique way of approaching like showing that you know a skill. But I mean, I don't see why it wouldn't work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there was that last part that Sumay mentioned is easy to gloss over, but that's actually like the holy grail.
Yeah.
Hopefully not impossible to find because it doesn't exist like the holy grail. But if we can find a way to have folks within FlutGo, they join, and the onboarding process for FlutGo, very similar to WEquil Group. You do an About Me, which basically ends up being part of your profile, and then you do your job description if you're joining our WEquil app team. Well, that's like writing out your skills and the kinds of work that you want to do. Very similar. But then you go into this, you're on this app, you have a profile, and then you want to signal that you have a skill. So you put in your skill, let's say it's Flutter Basics, and then you need to have some link. I think right now we're looking at 2 links. One would be a published written project, and then the other one would be like the video introduction. Probably, I don't know, I'm coalescing around 2 minutes maximum. So it's not quite like TikTok, which is like, I don't want to be so short like TikTok because I feel like we want longer attention spans. 2 minutes is long enough to convey a lot of more complex ideas. So once you do that, you do this video, getting to the point that Sumay was making. That's easy to forget. Is you actually want to be teaching to demonstrate that you're using the knowledge, right? So that's one way to use knowledge, is to teach, right? So if you can apply the skill by teaching something using examples, or by actually going through and writing the code, right, in real time while you're teaching somebody how to use like a particular widget, then that can serve as a lesson to other people as much as it is proof by demonstration that you're competent and using that particular skill, right? That you have that ability. That's really hard to do because normally these are 2 different things, right? Like in school, like they don't attempt to do this, right? Like in a typical like public school, the completion, first of all, there aren't generally projects. Usually it's like tests or homework assignments. It's standardized across the board, right? But this is like you're actually completing a project to do, but then you're also teaching, which for a lot of our projects at WEquil School is already the case, right?
Yeah.
But that's like to create the module, that's what makes this scalable, is to have that solution. And it's kind of, it has some elements of some of these social media platforms where, like with Twitter, the goal is 280 characters, try to convey an idea. Okay. With TikTok, it's how long? I think before they increased the time limit, I think it was only like 16 seconds or something.
No, I think it was longer. It was like maybe it was 15 to 30 seconds.
Okay.
But then they increased. I forgot what it was before though.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So then this would be like a, we could even restrict it and just make people do 5-paragraph frameworks too, where it's like convey everything in terms of 3 key points.
Right.
And then have, because you can do 3 key points in a video, right? You can hit these 3 key points. You've kind of been doing this like ever since demo day, right?
What do you mean?
Like, well, you will learn something.
Mm-hmm.
You show mommy and daddy that you've learned about something by publishing in your 8-page article on inflation problems in Nigeria and blockchain solutions. 9,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right? Very cute little article she wrote.
Yeah.
It's adorable. And then she went on YouTube, presented it on the Africa Demo Day, and you were teaching, and usually you start with like a summary of the article, right? And typically when people do that, it's about, usually it's like 1 minute, but if you're going to go through the whole thing, it should probably be more like 2, right?
Yeah, the only problem that we were talking about yesterday was that if you're going to be then putting it into a classroom, maybe in 2 minutes you can convey that you have a skill. Doesn't mean that you can teach it effectively to a bunch of young kids.
Right.
Yeah.
But that's also where you want to have the written project. That's also where you want to have example projects. That's also where you can be on demand to answer questions. Not you, but like other people in the classroom.
Right, yeah.
Right?
One thing we were also thinking about was just allowing you to link to anything. So if you like if you uploaded a YouTube video of you like teaching it in depth, then you can also link that to the video and say, well, you can see that I have this skill within this 2-minute video, but if you wanted to, then you could like see that in this 30-minute video I'm actually like going through it in detail, and then
right,
because people are going to want to display that they have a lot of depth in their knowledge and that they have all these skills, and so I think some of these restrictions should also have other ways to display that, whether it's a website that you have, whether that like displaying multiple Flutter projects that you've built, whether it's a YouTube channel, and things like that. But yeah.
Well, so keep in mind, we're just putting this out on the internet, and people can be submitting whatever they want. And I think that that's good, because other people may find better ways of using the template than us.
That's true.
Like the people that created TikTok probably didn't know that Paul Graham was going to be sharing tweets about how some kid was teaching another kid how to do programming using a TikTok video, right? They probably just assumed people are going to love dancing again.
Dance.
TikTok.
Yay.
TikTok. Right?
Yeah.
So they don't know how people are going to be using these platforms.
Right.
Like, Jack Dorsey did not know how people would be using Twitter. He did not know that FinTwit would be created. He didn't know that people would start using little dollar signs in front of tickers to indicate like different kinds of stocks. He just created a protocol. We're creating a protocol, right? So this protocol can be used in a wide variety of ways, and it's probably the users that are going to show us how the protocol is most useful.
Yeah,
So
we might even have like other developers that aren't doing Flutter that
can
just
show
like
up.
show up.
Yeah,
I got the skill. Look.
Benjamin could be showing up with his Minecraft.
Yeah.
And talking about his Minecraft versus Fortnite project, being like, look, I know Minecraft. Minecraft is skill. That's how Benjamin talks. Actually, that's not how he talks. Benjamin was during the pandemic. What was his nickname during the pandemic? Flutter Boy.
Yeah.
Flutter Boy. Yeah.
Yeah.
He
would show up on the Periscope, so we would do, and it's like Flutter Boy joined.
He was the first Flutter student outside of Isla.
Yeah.
That was powerful. So this is interesting. So we create a protocol. Other people are going to find out ways of using it most effectively. We just have a bunch of ideas. So like Sumay, for example, you could just make a 2-minute video showcasing
my code adoption.
all of your stuff that you've done on Flutter and be like, look, I have made 20 videos covering all basic and intermediate, skills within Flutter. And I have written a mile of Codadoc notes on all of the widgets I can find.
Yeah.
And here are the students that I have taught and the apps that they've built. And we've got like epic battleground music, right? And you've got like the demo day and everybody's on fast forward and right. And like, you could do that in 2 minutes and make like a Sumay Flutterista promo video.
Right.
And attach that to say, I know Flutter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And
that's what I was also thinking about. It's like allowing people to link so that they can kind of use our framework in more of like a generalized manner, so it's not too restricted. Because then it's also... Then we can update it based on how we see people using the framework. Because what if we see people using everyone using the framework in a certain way that wasn't necessarily intended, but then we can iterate upon like the UI and the functionality to tailor it more to whatever they started using it for. Because like that's how everyone is using it.
Except that I still want the Holy Grail. I don't necessarily...
Right, yeah.
Like, that would be way more useful to other people. Like, seeing a promo video of Sumay and all of the cool, but it's all so fast that you're not learning anything except that Sumay's made a lot of Flutter videos.
Well, then you can go look at the Flutter videos and the Coda document, link to it, to then learn Flutter.
But okay, yeah, you're right, you can. But part of what we're also trying to do is improve upon like the way, like you can go to Khan Academy and learn a lot of valuable things, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're not trying to substitute Khan Academy, right? We're trying to say Khan Academy doesn't do a very good job of actually showing that you know a skill, because you just go through all this stuff and you answer these questions, but you never apply the knowledge.
Yeah.
Right? So I still think that the applying knowledge part is the part that is the most powerful differentiator. And so if these are just like 2-minute long montage, Sumay knows how to Flutter code. Look at all these videos. She writes lots of coded docs. All the kids in the... Sorry. And then you get done with it and you're like, so, how do I do Flutter? Like...
Yeah, but that's the thing is... when you're thinking about, you also want to think about what you're actually incentivizing people to do. If you give them a 2-minute time limit, they're not going to be trying to, they're going to be trying to, show, look, I know Flutter, and I know lots of Flutter. They're not going to be making 2-minute tutorials.
Put their Flutter hat on.
They're not going to be making 2-minute tutorials here's how you make something really simple in Flutter. Here's how you make a scaffold with an app bar and a floating action button. In 2 minutes, let's say you cover that. Someone looking to hire you will not look at that and see, oh my gosh, you have so much knowledge in Flutter. And like what you're going to be trying to do within those 2 minutes is convey really fast that you know a lot of Flutter. And in which case, the Sumay knows Flutter montage seems like the best route.
All the kids in the neighborhood. All right, yeah, right.
And then you're not really incentivizing people to create actual like valuable content for the Flutter classroom.
Right.
So, I mean,
so I think that that's part of the challenge, and also figuring out what we want.
Yeah.
Right. Because if we wanted to, I think the problem with like making it super easy to turn these into promo montage I know stuff videos.
Well, even that's like what people are going to be incentivized to do in order.
Well, it depends on how we structure the protocol.
Yeah. I mean, but just based on kind of like this framework, because you have such a short amount of time.
Right.
And you're trying to get work. So
yeah, and you know what skill that's actually going to be demonstrating?
Your ability to market yourself.
Your ability to market, your ability to know English, your ability to have like a decent camera, your ability to have like interest in making promo videos.
Right.
Your willingness to put yourself out there. It's going to be a good extroversion, I love playing with social media indicator. It's going to have a bunch of correlations to things that aren't necessarily what people want if they're in a work. If you're going into Career Builder or one of these other platforms, like you're going there because you're trying to find somebody who can help you to create something, right? So I think that we want to, I mean, it would be kind of cool to have some montages. And that could be a separate project. If you like have a bunch of these, if you actually complete a course, let's say you complete a bunch of these things, then I think we can open up a special project to say, if you want to do, like, if you want to encapsulate all of this stuff into a certain kind of special project to say, I know this entire curriculum. That would be more like going up on a defense. Ooh, that's what that would be. Like if you want to get a certification.
Yeah.
Like let's say you want to get certified in Flutter Basics.
Mm-hmm.
Well, then you need to go through and create a certain number of lessons that would demonstrate that you know Flutter Basics, that would also serve as teaching modules, and then for your defense to get the certification, you submit that, and that could be even shorter. That could be like, that could be even like a 30-second elevator pitch of, I think I'm ready for this certification. Here's why. And it could either be a video or it could be.
Well, I think also some of this hinges on what actually happens when people go in here and are actually like putting up their profiles. If the people who are getting a bunch of contracts and the people who are like actually finding work are the people who go up there and make a I'm so awesome, I know Flutter montage, then more people will probably start using the framework in that way. If the people who end up getting more work and the highest ratings or the most amount of upvotes are the people who get a certification and the skills that they have, then more people will probably be focused on getting that, and then then that will cause the certification to have more value. So I think some of this kind of just is going to hinge on how it actually plays out, what people are looking for, and how people are actually using the framework that we provide. Even if like it's supposed to be used in a certain way, it doesn't necessarily mean people are actually going to use it like that. So I mean, that's my thoughts. But
yeah, the Holy Grail remains, I think. There's a way to proof by demonstration. It's a lot like a lot of the projects that you presented, where you apply the knowledge, right?
Right.
You teach something. It's written, and then you do a public demonstration. It's recorded. You can attach it. this both serves as proof of demonstration that you have the skill, and it also serves as a lesson that can be fit and built into a course that somebody else, if they want to, can become an instructor and actually teach this course and become certified in it, or give certifications related to that course. That's the elegant, beautiful, wow, it's like an all-in-one video, you know. I would love that. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I still really like that idea. I just don't know if
It's gonna be interesting.
Yeah.
It's a technical and personable and labor market challenge. Hello. Hello, Avinav. We'll start our meeting in 19 minutes. So maybe a little bit about why we're doing this. We do a lot of Flutter.
Yep.
Like we're doing Flutter contracts for businesses. If people want to build an app, like a web app that can be later on, if they want to, from the same code base, they can launch their own iPhone or Android app. If it's fairly simple, just like a standard web page, then we can do it for less than $1,000 in less than a week. That's something that I don't think you're going to be able to get anywhere else. And the base of knowledge within our own Flutter community across all of WEquil Group is really powerful. No, we don't really. So yeah, I think that this is a really good place to start. We actually need FlutGo. Like we need FlutGo because if we keep getting more contracts, we need to know who within our learning community would be best suited to help fulfill those contracts. We also kind of want to know how people want to grow their...
One idea is people can, if they have a contract or they have an app or web app that they want to have built, they can just list out the skills that are needed and then filter for the developers who have those skills, and then they can also filter for who has the most upvotes of people who say like, yeah, this person does know this skill based off the video. So it's like you don't have to go through all the videos. There can be some like user generated metrics that can let you know, okay, this person probably does know whatever they say that they know because like 30 people watched their video and said that they did. And then you don't have to like go through all of the proof by demonstration like
if there's a bunch of upvotes.
Yeah,
you could, but the on demand for 2 minutes and then see what they've produced, I think is a really powerful...
Yeah, but in terms of like filtering through the app to make it more usable and to make it so that you can find the people that you need as easily as possible, you can filter for the most upvotes.
Oh, I just had a really cool idea.
Yeah.
Every one of my ideas is really good. I was explaining this to the team recently. Anytime I get excited about an idea, they have to drop whatever they're doing.
Yep. And
just do that. It's like, it's coming from...
Yeah.
Actually, no. It's not true. I think half my ideas are horrible, but 10% of them are really good. And here's the thought I just had. So, like, Paraz has a bunch of really cool videos about Flutter. So do you, right? Abhinav's making some too. What if we weren't trying to house all the videos on our YouTube channel or in some database? We just have them out there. People can link to them. And basically we just organize them into courses. Like anybody could do that. And then basically once we upload a resource into FlutGo,
one way
people can use upvotes to say, I like this. You know, this is a really good, like, so basically it becomes a way of open sourcing, creating lessons. This isn't necessarily a FlutGo idea. It's kind of a tangent. But
no, you can also create a course that can be part of your FlutGo profile that you can try where it's kind of like trying to build upon your body of work to demonstrate your knowledge. So you could say like create a course, and it could go to the Flutter classroom, but at the same time you could display it on your FlutGo profile so that you can just like have even more like I don't know like resources and demonstrations to show that you know something.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, that's true too. But like, given how many people are trying to
8:30,
make their we should probably go soon. But given how many people are doing their, like one of our students who was running our Java and Minecraft class, kind of dropped out of WEquil school because he was spending all of his time on his YouTube channel. And one of the things that that I'm realizing is like, a lot of folks would like to do something more productive, but also do things that help their YouTube channel, right? So maybe they get started off on this like, oh, I'm just going to live stream video games, and then they realize that 1,000,000
other
times 10 other people are doing the exact same thing, so good luck, right? But to actually apply it to something that can be useful in a school to teach valuable skills, and if they sign up to do that, then that can be part of this like package if you want to create a class. Just like we're doing with Ronan. We're doing the same thing with Ronan for his world edit. But yeah, just a thought. I mean, there's like armies of people out there that are making YouTube channels that nobody watches, that aren't providing any real value for humanity. So maybe there's a way here to utilize that. Especially I'm talking about like the younger kids.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Right.
What do you think?
Yeah.
So it would be, I'm sure there's a lot of parents out there that would be excited about taking a 10-year-old boy that's just live streaming video games for his YouTube channel and finding a way to redirect a little bit of that into, here, teach a class about something for your YouTube channel.
Yeah.
And then having people actually go there to watch it.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a thought. But anyway, maybe we should wrap up on FlutGo, and then get ready for our meeting with everybody. Final words? What are
Happy Thanksgiving!
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody!
Yay! And it's episode 90. It's a nice round number.
It's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have a tradition that every year after we're done cooking our turkey, we save the skull and we set it here in our studio until the next year.
Mm-hmm. So we'll have a nice new one.
We're going to have a new one.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we've been doing this for years.
Mm-hmm.
Really excited.
Yeah.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye.